Hey, I wanted to talk about something that I grew up with and something that is totally different in the movies. Well, some of them. This is fairy tales. Everybody talks about how fairy tales are kiddie stuff, and one time ago, they did stories and to scare the crap out of children, like trolls under the bridge will eat you if you go down there. Jack's beside me. Now he's behind me. I mean, they've been around forever, and there's lots of different languages they're in. But and if you go and look up movies and everything, you will find that there's more accurate depictions of them, even in the children's movies. But you can't go looking for Walt Disney, because if you try doing that, you're going to find yourself out of luck with the storytellers. They make it more innocent, not as scary. Of course, there are some exceptions to the rules. Kids do sometimes find it freaks them out. But and a lot of people are like, "Don't scare children." I disagree. I really do. I mean, the more you scare a child, the more respect they have. So, does anyone have any comments on reading fairy tales and and experiences with that? There is one story that's Disney that I think they do take a darker tone with the story to a certain extent. They don't take it as dark as fuck, but they, and that would be Beauty and the Beast. See you later. Just talking to Jack. Just so you know, I dyed my hair. I went to this place I've been going to, and when I looked at my hair, it was purple, which I had on a purple cap too. It was almost the same color. Um, this episode live stream is sponsored by Jim from Now It's Dark because he's been doing movies about fairy tales. It's going okay. How's it going with you, Ghostface Fanatic? It's been a while since I've seen you. Did you grow up with fairy tales like Hansel and Gretel and um Little Red Riding Hood and your boy? I'm trying to think of some of the others that go on along with that. But who knows? You might have went with Cinderella. It's good. And if you did you have it read to you? Did you read it yourself? Did you watch the movie? Um, it's kind of disgusting. I can't think of any other ones. I mean, you know, everybody talks about how they're starting to do a trend of Disney movies that are horror, but one fairy tale that's always been a horror movie as far back as I can remember is Little Red Riding Hood. I'm not even sure that Disney even tried to attempt that. Yeah, they did. Um, but you really can't take the scary out of that movie. There's no get around. Y- the big bad wolf saying he's going to eat your grandma, then dressing up like her. It's for to children. uh, but I tell you a movie that reminds me more of the story of Hansel and Gretel is Tales from the Dark Side. But yeah, one of the things that I know about the story of Hansel and Gretel is they've redone it a bunch of times, but just like hello, Erica. Um, how are you? I know that you like to read. I don't know if you do now, but you used to. What is your take on fairy tales? Do you like the stories from the books more, or the stories that they do in the movies, or do you like a mixture of both? And how do you feel about the portrayal that Disney did to the fairy tales that we have heard of and changed them all over? I'm sure you've read some. Hmm. I agree. I mean, let's see. There's Snow White. There's Cinderella. There's Hansel and Gretel. And most people, whether they remember it or not, their parents have read them Hansel and Gretel. Um, Most people haven't read the fairy tales princesses, but in this original German story for Hansel and Gretel, they their mother turned herself into a ugly old hag so she could eat her children. They were scarier, which makes sense. I mean, the Disney movies weren't. They was talking about how oh, I'm sorry, this didn't show up for a few minutes. Um, I'm not surprised. I don't know who did Pinocchio. Maybe Hans Anderson, Hans Christian Andersen, or whatever his name is. Um, a lot of the books that I have, or the stories of the Grimm brothers. But I do have Hans Christian Andersen. They're the two leading book distributors for fairy tales at the moment. It's English. I love to read them in their native tongue, but it ain't gonna happen. I don't know German or Swedish or French. And a lot of the stories that we get that are fairy tales, they are either German, Swedish, or French. Most people don't know that. Um, I know some words in French, but not enough to read a book. Yeah. Um, I've heard that this is a pretty scary story. How old were you when you read Pinocchio, or had it read to you? I tell you a story that my grandma used to tell all us kids because she'd watch us. Well, she had me. Wow, 7. We have a bridge down here, and she didn't want us going down there. And she said that if we did and we were alone, the troll would get us. um, Me being who I am, I went down there anyway. I wanted to see a troll. I wasn't afraid of him eating me. Oh, I was like 6 years old. My cousins were, they didn't, Well, she didn't really say without people, without adults. Don't go down there. My uncle and aunt told me the same thing, and their house was right next to the bridge down there. I wasn't a real bad kid. I just was curious. I promise. Oh God. Finger out. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna get off. Thanks for showing up, Ghostface Fanatic and Erica EA Hart. Later, everyone.